Hello and welcome to this new video on the SYSCOHADA Accounting Framework. This video will be a worked example on the initial recognition criteria of fixed assets. The video will work on or will be a worked example looking at a practical case and how the fixed asset should initially be recognized in the financial statements. So without no further ado, let us go to the question. So here we go. This is the question. A company built a new factory at the following costs. Land. You have the cost of land, the cost of material, labor, architect fees, site overheads, apportion, administrative overheads, and testing of fire alarms. So the question or the requirement of the question is to know what should be the amount recorded under the factory account in the financial statements. We are required to ignore VAT and all amounts are in francs CFA. So what amount should be recorded under the factory account in the financial statements? So what we are going to do is we are going to go through each of these different items and we are going to see whether we should include them or not include them in the cost of the factory account in the financial statement. So let us go to the answer. The first item in our question was land. But remember that this is the factory account and we should always separate the value of land from the value of building if we own both the land and the building. The value of land will be recorded in account 2.2 as land, but the value of a building will be recorded in account 2.3 if we own the building, because it may happen that we may own a building but we don't own the land, or we may own the land but we don't own the building. So in this case, the SYSCOHADA Accounting Framework has separated the accounting for the land and a building or a factory built on the land. So in this case, land will not be, or the cost of land will not be part of the cost of the factory. It will be an asset though, but not part of the cost of the factory. It will fall inside its respective account, land in account 2.2. Materials are used for the construction of the factory and hence they are part of the valuation or the cost valuation of the factory. Labor is also used, the direct labor which is used to build the factory, is part of the cost of the factory. So the labor cost you incurred or the entity incurred to build the factory is part of the cost of the factory. Also, the fees of an architect, which is the labor fee, is also part of the cost of the cost valuation of the factory of the fixed asset, as well as site overheads. Because site overheads are overhead expenses incurred by the site, by the production site. So it means that these are expenses which directly relate to the construction of the factory, and they are deemed to be, or they are part of the cost of the factory. However, apportion administrative overheads are not part of the cost of the factory because they don't directly relate to the construction of the factory. Remember that this could be head office cost, headquarters administrative cost, which are shared across the different projects of the organization or the different departments of the organization. This is not a cost which is directly linked or directly attributable to the construction of that factory. Hence, the apportion administrative overhead cost is not part of the cost valuation of the factory. The next one is testing of fire alarms. And the testing of fire alarms occurs when the factory has already been built. This does not form part of the cost valuation of the factory because a factory is already complete and fire alarms are being tested afterwards. So there you go. What is not cancelled is part of the cost valuation of a factory. So for this given question, the cost valuation of a factory will be made up of the cost of materials, the cost of labor, architect fees, and site overheads, which will give us a total of 5,725,000,000 francs CFA. So we are at the end of our presentation. We hope you have enjoyed it, and we hope to see you soon for new videos on the SYSCOHADA Accounting Framework. Bye bye for now.